All right, so in this video I'm going to be going over the SPX500. So this is actually an indice. I believe that's how you pronounce it. But this is the S&P 500. It tracks 500 stocks in the United States, and you can actually trade this under the smart money concepts, because if you think about it, I always say price is not moved by news. It's not moved by fundamentals. They think about earnings per share and price to earnings and all that stuff. Price is not moved by earnings reports. It's really moved by people, and people who have the money to move it. People who have the money to buy up a certain stock or a certain indice, a certain currency, to drive price in a particular direction. Because if you think about it in economics, if you buy something, you buy more and more, you increase demand. What happens when demand is increased? Price increases as well. And so price moves because of supply and demand, not necessarily directly because of news or price and earnings came out. It's really because people decided to buy after they heard the news. And so you could argue, yeah, it has an indirect effect. But what about when news doesn't come out? What about when, does that mean if people only move price because of news and because of earnings per share, does that mean when that stuff does not come out, shouldn't price just stay stagnant? No, there are alternative reasons for people to move money in the market. And so the indices are, you can smart money trade that because we see the same patterns that we see in currencies on these particular portfolios. And so, on the weekly, we're pretty bullish right now. There's this whole zone right here, at least this entire zone right here. That is just, this is very inefficient movement, just quick movement to the downside. We're looking to get that filled eventually. So I'm very bullish on this entire indice right now. You go into the daily, structure's fairly bullish. You have a low right here, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Okay. This, right here we saw a lower high and a lower low, concerning. And so, I wasn't looking to buy anything in this zone until I saw price break this lower high right here. I saw price break this lower high, and so now we are officially bullish again in the daily time frame. So the thing for me is that these indices, they move incredibly. Each movement, each point is a pip worth, whereas in a currency, a micro pip is usually 1 point move. And so yeah, I don't like trading on higher time frames. I don't have enough capital to trade in higher time frames, so I usually go down all the way around the 5 minute. And you can see some interesting stuff happening here in this area. First thing that my eyes go to is right here. Look at these. Look at those equal lows right there. Some equal lows right here. And we saw price action purged liquidity right here. They captured all these players right here who are looking to either buy off the resistance, or people who are looking to sell off the break. So they captured the liquidity to buy, and you saw price move. I mean, think about it. Why would price not keep going down? People see price, the structure is moving downwards. It looks fairly bearish. You would think price should keep moving, but no. Big players, the big banks, came and shot price up, right? And so what do we got to do? We got to come back down and mitigate this candle right here. Mitigate the candle right here that took out these lows. They gotta break even on all those drawdowns that are there. And so yeah, we see price moving up right now. I believe we're over 100 points in profit. Yeah, about 150 points in profits. Think about that's 150 pips. How much time is this? In a matter of like you know, an hour or two. I mean, that's, yeah, it's 100. I mean, that's why I really like the indices, because if you can really catch them, you get really large movements in a very short period of time. You know, and you can risk the same amount. I risk no more than, you know, 2%, 1% in my account, 0.5% in my account. And something that's really interesting is if you zoom into the 1 minute, I actually, you know, caught this trade again. I like to re-enter, you know, most times. Actually, I caught this trade again off an imbalance right here. This is very inefficient price movement, so you see price going up, but got to come back down and fill that a little bit. I believe it filled the 50% of this imbalance. Yeah, 50%. Yep, to the T, to the T. 50% of that imbalance shot back up, kind of broke structure. You can see here, this downward trending structure was broken here, and so that's great. Now I want to see this come back and retest and then shoot up again. You know, a movement like this would be great. You see price break through the structure, come back down, you know, and shoot back up finally to hit our final take profit of this zone right here where there's another imbalance. I want to get to 50% of that. Also lines up very well with institutional pricing of 29.65. So it's a solid setup. We'll see how the rest of the day goes.